Would you like to learn how to draw a tulip today? Just watch. One question that I get a lot is, Mr. Smith, where do you get the ideas for your videos? Well, sometimes I just walk up on them. The other day, I was visiting my mother's house and my mother-in-law's house, two separate houses. And I happened to see outside my mother-in-law's house, she had maybe about a half dozen to 8 beautiful long stem red tulips. Some were closed, some were open, some looked a little damaged because we had had a lot of rain, but they were beautiful. So I said, let me pulled out my trusty phone and I took some pictures. Then I happened to go to my mother's, and what do you know? She has tulips, beautiful red tulips coming up in her front too. So I not only got pictures, I took some video too. So sometimes our inspiration comes from just walking up on something. But I'm not going to lie, I love flowers, and even my wife has been talking about, why do you keep doing these drawings with these flowers? But it's springtime, even though it's been cold, everybody's trapped inside. I love the colors, I love the shapes of flowers. So tulip has my interest this week. Let me share a little history with it. Tulips first came from Turkey. A lot of people think they came from Holland, but they came from Central Asia and Turkey. In the 16th century, they were brought to Holland from Turkey and quickly became widely popular. Tulips today are cultivated in Holland in great numbers in huge fields. Dutch bulbs, including tulips and daffodils, are exported around the world, so people think that it originated there as well. In fact, many cultivated varieties were grown in Turkey long before they were introduced to many of the European gardens. In the 17th century, the overgrown interest and high popularity of tulips brought a sort of tulip mania in Holland, especially in 1637. Bulbs were highly praised and prices would go up day by day, almost like stocks, reaching extraordinary numbers. Now, they sold bulbs by weight, usually while they were still in the ground. Some examples could cost more than a house at this time. The Dutch government was unsuccessful and tried to outlaw this commerce, but couldn't do anything to stop it. The trade was all about access and demand. But the end of the game quickly came. Oversupply led to lower prices, and dealers went bankrupt, and many people lost their life savings because of the trade, and the tulip market crashed. Now, tulips certainly don't outweigh gold, but like I was telling you about tulip mania, at one time, people looked at tulips as gold. Now, the Netherlands is still one of the largest exporter of tulips in the world. Today, roughly 60% of the country's land is used for agriculture and horticulture, with much of that land dedicated to growing bulbs. And it's a good thing, because in 2014, the Netherlands exported more than 2 billion tulip bulbs worldwide. Let's talk about the artwork. I started working on black paper with a white colored pencil. I laid down the 2 tulips, and then I did kind of an abstraction in the background of some of the leaves that I saw around the tulips. Now, when you start doing one of these drawings, you just don't lay down the actual color that you want. You lay down different colors. I like laying down some purples and some blues. I use yellows and oranges and whites for highlights. And then I mix these with the reds. My greens, they come out of, some come out of greens, some come out of mixtures with yellows and whites. And then I do some shading where I might add blacks or grays or sometimes blues, depending on what area and how much light or how much dark that I have. Why flowers? I know a lot of people say, why flowers, Mr. Smith? Flowers have it all. To me, flowers are almost like looking at landscapes or rock forms, except they have so much color. And if you look real close, you can see these details and veins. And if you just take the time to look at and smell a flower, you will be amazed as much as I am.